I am leading for the first time on YouTube today. I'm trying to learn some things with this. And so I am setting messages. See, I think it's this one. Yes. Okay. I think I'm ready. Hi. How are you? I'm very early because I wasn't sure how it was going to work. But if you are watching this video after it's been done, my name is Pamela, and you've reached our Mandala Universes, where we gather every single day for over 5 years, actually. We haven't missed one day. And we draw mandalas. We gather, we check in. What's your feeling this morning? And then we ground. There's a meditation, a reading, and then we draw. And here's an example, one of mine. That was a nature scene because I was out in nature. That was inspired by something I was looking at. I was inspired by my feelings. So they're always different. And I'm going to wait for people to join because I'm on so early. They're not here yet. So it'll be quiet for 2 or 3 minutes before people come on. So you may want to take this time to get your supplies. Use watercolors. I have this wonderful thing that my friend made for me. It holds, look at this, it holds all these cool things. Pens and pencils and paintbrushes. I got my new moon calendar for next year. I didn't buy one for 2025, and I've missed it. I never used it as my actual calendar, but they have like this beautiful artwork and poems, and I've missed those. I missed those a lot. So I'm excited just to kind of look at this and read all these beautiful poems. Yeah, it's nice. And since I'm new to this, I'm not really sure when people join, so I'm guessing I will see comments when they come in, or messages. It's all new. We have 1 minute before we actually are going to start, but it says that there's a person here. And now it says there are 12 people here. I have a feeling that's not accurate. So my favorite pen to use, Amy told me about it. It's a Zig cartridge. It works. I don't know, I just really like how this pen writes. And today is Angelfish 19. And a couple people are saying hello. Tia Dragon says hi. Veronica says hello. Jace says hi. We'll wait for others to join. Hello, Elaine. Elaine says, good morning, Pamela. Kathy says, you did it. I did. But Kathy, if you scroll, I've got a lot of comments from people I don't know. So I don't know if I did the chat the right way for subscribers. And maybe these are new people and I haven't been on for a while. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Is Tia Dragon a new our Mandala Universes person? Can you still tap that button and filter? Yeah, I said chat filter. And I got, well, how did that work? Community moderation. I have participant mode subscribers. And then live chat on, live chat summary is on. And Tia Dragon says, yes, I haven't been here before. Well, welcome, Tia Dragon, to our Mandala Universes. We're trying to, we were on Instagram and they changed the rules. So we have moved over to YouTube. So this is new. And it's just a different, platform. And so we're learning how to set it. So we'll wait. Hi, Amy. Good morning. How are you? Tia, you've reached our Mandala Universes. We gather every day for 30 minutes and we check in, we ground, and we draw mandalas. And then we check out. That's what we do. So grab some art supplies. It can be as simple as crayons, colored pencils, or it can be elaborate and be paints. Yeah, it is very cool. It's very cool. So stay with us. Good morning, Michelina. My first live on YouTube. Not sure I set it up right, but Amy, Veronica is saying hello. I'm guessing, Veronica, you're new to our Mandala Universes as well. So welcome. So how are y'all checking in today? Tia, our channel is really different. Our goal isn't to have a lot of people. If we do, that's great. But our goal is for those people who want to do this practice that they have a place to connect. So we're fine if it's 4 people. It's not about growing a big base. It's a real different perspective than most social media platforms. Amy is feeling spacious. Michelina, welcome new folks. We are here to draw together. Yes, I can actually show you. Here's one of mine when I was in North Carolina. Here's another one. They're all very different depending on my mood. That was even more different. So that's what we do. And we're glad that you're here to join. Tia says that's so pretty. So I'm feeling grounded. So I still have the afterglow of being at my retreat last weekend, which was amazing. And Kathy is checking in, unsure of how I am checking in. Michelina is checking in, feeling meh, and grateful to be alive and feeling meh. Yeah. It's amazing how we can have all these different feelings. Yeah. Yeah. I'm still like in slow-mo from my weekend of camping in the North Carolina mountains. Veronica says she feels happy. Nice. It was humid and hot, and you know I don't live in that typical environment, so that was real different. And we had every night, we had 3 nights, a black bear sighting. So that was pretty amazing. and it was a teen. I never saw the bear. I heard, but I never saw. But my friend, she was sleeping on her cot close to her tent, and her arm was kind of out, like rubbing against the tent, and the bear walked by and pushed against her arm. So that was probably the most closest anyone got to the bear. It was pretty funny. Elaine says, checking in, prepared and able to relax. Veronica says she's happy and sad. So that was the wildness of it. But it was just very powerful. 75 women, ceremony, breath work, dancing, yoga, drumming. I hadn't been in a drumming circle for a while. Man, it was really powerful to return to that energy, chanting and drumming. So that was, and then we did a breath work, and that was really powerful. I got some really good things out of that. Yeah, I mean, it's a large group, Michelina, 75 women, and we had open mic night, and my first fest, and I said, I want to do it, and I signed up, and I'll do a reading about my dance. I did interpretive dance, and it was kind of wild that I did that, like I usually need to prepare and have it all right, and I didn't do that. I picked a song I knew, instrumental, and then I danced this theme, so it was really very powerful. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and the women were so, what I loved is it was about, empowerment, support, and unconditional love. And then you're on your path to do whatever else. So it was just so cool. And we had 2 lakes. That was my shower. I bathed and showered in a lake for a couple days. It was good to have a shower when I got home. But you know what? I was clean. I felt clean. So I really liked that, just really connecting to nature. Lane says, Miss M says, hello, guessing she's still having tech issues and can't comment. I'll translate. Haha. I was doing that before I went on my trip, Elaine, so I'm glad that you're able to do that now. Yeah, Elaine said that's a big wild group. It was, and it was like, oh. And you know how we howled when we were together on our retreat? We howled. The sound was just like, wow. Oh, it was just like so amazing. So I definitely hope we get to howl when we're together next month. Yeah, God, that's next month. Oh my goodness. Thank you for timing out a commenter. I appreciate that, whoever did that. Yeah, I have to say, my next check-in is I'm not feeling safe on this platform. I'll just be real honest with you guys. There's people coming in I don't know, and I don't know if they're coming in. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, and it feels really weird. So I'm just going to be honest with that. Tia says, how many people are in your group? I don't know what group you're talking about. If you're talking about our Mandala Universes, it varies every day. It can be as small as 4 and up to 15. It's very small. And Elaine says, no wonder why you are attracted to bears. And Michelina says, we got you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Michelina. Yeah, because I just noticed I was getting really like putting on a cloak is what I was doing. All right, let's go ahead and ground. Go ahead and find a place where you can connect to your center. And you might go, well, I don't know where my center is. So then begin with breath. And in your breath, find this energetic ball and within your body that is your center. It could be in your throat. It could be in your chest. It could be in your gut. It could be in your hips. It could be somewhere else I didn't mention. And just begin to connect with that energetic ball of self, of you. And in our meditation today, I want us to get quiet, and I want us to think about life and aliveness. And the opposite side of that for many of us is death. And we look at those concepts of life and death, And I want you to tune into your heart, sensing its beating, knowing that every time your heart beats, it's pumping blood into your body or receiving blood back. And one chamber collapses, dies, and the other one is pumping alive. And it's life, death, life, death, life, death, life, death, life, death, life, death. So that instead of seeing those two words and feelings and thoughts as being opposites, we see them as necessary support for each other, for us to grow. And so I want to read what I read before I did my interpretive dance last Saturday night. And this is from Women Who Run with Wolves. Much of our knowledge of the life, death, life nature is contaminated by our fear of death. Therefore, our ability to move with the cycles of life, death, life nature is quite frail. These forces do not do something to us. They are not thieves that rob us of the things we cherish. This nature is not a hit-and-run driver who smashes what we value. No, no, no. The life, death, life forces are part of our own nature, an inner authority that knows the steps, knows the dance of life and death. It is composed of the parts of ourselves who know when a deep teacher, if we can only learn, let me say that again. It is composed of the parts of ourselves who know when something can, should, and must be born, and when it must die. It is a deep teacher if we can only learn its tempo. The dance of life, death, life. Composed of parts of ourselves who know when something can, should, and must be born, and when it must die. It is a deep teacher if we know the tempo. So take a slow inhale and hold it for a second. And then a slower exhale. And then begin to open your eyes and move to your journal. For those of us who are new, we draw our circle with an in-breath halfway through and an out-breath to complete the circle. And then we put whatever we want into it. Kathy is saying, Tia, where are you from? Because we have people from all over the world. Kathy says, I live in Nevada. Tia, I live in California. Tia says, this is so cool. And that people on YouTube are weird. Yeah. Yeah. So I danced birth, and I moved through the stages of the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And then I died. And when the song ended, I breathed life again. And while I was at the retreat, there were many things that came up for me to let go of, and things to explore moving into. And one of the things I'm exploring moving into is to start leading New Moon Circles, which is what this organization got started with New Moon Circles. So yeah, it was a very powerful weekend. Very powerful. Okay, draw, paint. And you know, I'm in the part of this organization is called Wild Women Project. We have you can join a monthly membership, and I'm in the monthly membership, and that means I'm in the cave, the underground cave. And it's kind of like this, but it's our own platform. So other people don't get into it. You can only be invited into it. And we meet every week. And so when I was saying goodbye to a lot of the ladies, it was like, I'll see you Tuesday, because we always meet on Tuesdays. So that was kind of a nice, instead of I won't see you for a year, that we'll get to see each other today, this afternoon. And I already bought my ticket for next year. So I'm going. Next year's the 10th annual. So that's going to be super cool. I'm sure there'll be extra some things. I don't know what. It's pretty extra. So I don't know what we would add. She says, oh, cool, I'm in Pennsylvania. So my woo-woo meter is up, if you want to call it that. Amy says, I'll be in North Carolina again, or does it move around? Oh, no, will it be in North Carolina again? Actually, it stays at this place. It's, I think it's called Horseshoe. Deerfield is the name of the retreat center we were in, and I think it's in Horseshoe, North Carolina. It's 20 minutes south and a little bit west from the Asheville Regional Airport, so it's easy from that perspective once you get to that airport. But it'll always be held there. And what's really cool is they have a company called Dancing Days that you rent your tent, cot, sleeping bag, pad. I got a bottle of wash water and a cooler and a lamp in your tent. And so I didn't have to pack all that on the plane. And then and they set it up and take it down, so like I didn't have to do all that work. So that was very cool. And then there's this huge pavilion, and that's where we gather. So this big wooden structure or space, open air, and that's where we gathered and set up our altar, which I can share pictures of that. I should probably post something on my Instagram account. And like they gave us breakfast, which is like somebody went to Costco and bought a whole bunch of stuff and fresh food, oatmeal, toast, coffee, tea, blah, blah. And then we don't have any food till dinner. And so you just bring your own snacks. There's 2 lakes. My God, they're just beautiful. And all the people were at one lake, and I went all by myself to the other lake, and nobody was there. And I had it was like amazing. But you know, there's no cell service, so I didn't have my phone with me. So I took very few pictures. And I also wanted to be respectful of the women and not photograph them. So Elaine says, Pamela, virtual group or small personal regional group? The Wild Women Project is virtual. Me doing a moon circle, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. If I'm going to do in person or virtual. So I'm not sure I'm answering your question. Ask again if I didn't. Jace says, hi again. I had to walk with my mom. Jace, we're drawing right now if you want to join. Kathy says, your woo-woo meter is always up compared to mine, so you're like a galaxy away now. My woo-woo has definitely grown after 5 years with you all. And you know what? In that group, if you would have been there, you would have been accepted for wherever your woo-woo meter is. It's just like, it's about being where you are. And there were women who made my woo-woo meter seem like it was very low. We're all in just different places, right? Yeah, there were times where I was like, oh gosh, I feel shut down, or I feel like I'm not connecting. And then there were the other times I was like, oh, I forgot this. And it felt so good to be a part of it. So good. Yeah, on the last, I was too tired to do the drumming circle. It was always after the ceremonies at night. And either I'd done a lot of processing or just, I don't know, I was just really tired. The heat maybe. But the last night I said, I'm going to the drumming circle. And I got there and there was this drum lying down, and it's a round drum, and there's rope on the back of it, and you hold it like that, and then there's a mallet. And I said, can I play this drum? And they're like, yeah, sure. I picked up that drum, and it was a drum that I actually had in my office when I shared it. And it was another therapist, but anyway, I loved that sound of that drum, so I picked it up and I was like, oh, I love this drum. I ended up being the tempo for the circle where they're chanting these songs, and I'm holding the beat, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was taking on such a big role, and it was like so fun, like so fun. It was just in heaven. Our Mandala's Universes says, welcome, Jace. We draw mandalas together daily. Thank you for whoever said that. I know when I joined once I signed in on our Mandala Universes. I came in that way. Well, Kathy, if I end up doing a moon circle virtually, you can come and just see if it's something you would want to sit in on. You know, we all come from different walks of life, and we all have gifts from those different ways of reaching our spiritual core, of reaching that deep well of love, and all are good. And all work. Lane says, yes, please, moon circle. Okay. All right. Thank you for letting me know. And Miss Feather says, hello, Pamela and everyone. I think Miss S. Feather is Claudia, I think. Michelina says, I love that part of North Carolina. It's as magical as our West Coast forest mountains. You know, Michelina, I felt that energy. I came a couple days early because I'd never been to North Carolina, and I just wanted to walk around Asheville, and people said, well, it's all damaged. Actually, they have rebuilt, and a lot of the artist studios were open. And I loved how they did this. First, it's just like, feels like a small town, but it's a little bit bigger than that. And the studios were like working studios. So you had the artists in there doing their craft as well as having their work up and displayed and for sale. I loved their art. Oh my gosh, there was something where I really connected to that. And I stayed in 2 Airbnbs because I messed up with my reservation. And the second Airbnb was more closer to downtown, but in this Victorian neighborhood. So I walked around these blocks with these just huge houses, beautiful gardens. Some of them were just natural butterfly gardens. And there is some magic there. There is some magic there. There's something. And I talked to people who are like, I'm from here. And I came to Asheville and I stayed. And I actually it was really nice. A therapist that I shared an office with, the drum person, moved to North Carolina. So she drove down to Asheville. She lives north of there. And we spent the day together. Oh my gosh. And just seeing her, she's so much in her element. It is Claudia. Hi, Claudia. Everyone's saying hi to you. So Monday, so I'm only home a week. I fly to Kansas City, and Mama's 90th birthday. And it's going to be somewhat of a family reunion. My kid's dad's coming so he can see her. His sister's husband, his sister died recently, and he's coming. Some friends that I've known forever are coming, so it's my cousin's coming. It's gonna be a really special trip. And I have to thank my 27-year-old son, because he saw Grandma in May when he went to his aunt's funeral and said, we have to have a party. And he texted everyone saying, we have to get out here. And that started it. So I'm grateful to him. Claudia says, I went to Asheville years ago and loved it there. Great food and trees. All the trees around. The trees, yeah. There was this one artist that had their studio near the river that flooded. And their prints got muddy, right? So they cleaned them off as well as they could, and they're selling them. I kind of wanted to buy one of those prints, because like, how cool is that to have a print that has the history of the flood and the stories that people said they're still processing it big time, of no water, no electricity, no cell service. They couldn't tell their relatives they were okay, and everyone was just so scared. They couldn't reach out to people because they couldn't travel anywhere. They didn't have water to flush their toilets, like just. And then they said how everyone came together and how beautiful that was. How beautiful it was that people may not have had anything or not much at all, and they shared anyway. You know, disaster does bring out the heart of our humanity. So it's that time where if anything is coming up with your mandala, to go ahead and share those words. For Tia and Jace, we sometimes write I am willing statements, or just words. This is mine so far. I'm not sure what's going to be on the other side. But yeah, next year when I go to Fest, I'm going to go early again. And I'm going back to my second Airbnb. I loved her. She was so cool. We had a nice conversation. And you know what she said? She texted me after I left and she said, I don't know what you did, but your room smells so good. Do you have an air freshener or what? And some of you know I wear essential oils for perfume instead of perfume. And I think she was smelling my essential oils. Well, that made me smile. Kathy's words are, the altar is heavy. Elaine says, I'm willing to savor the present and be present. Amy says, my mandala came quick. Words are, can we flourish amidst the distractions? Oh, wait, I said that. The wrong intonation. Words are, oh no, can we flourish amidst the distractions? Magdalena says, collaborative protection, and mine is purple too, Pamela. And Kathy says, mine is also purple. Purple is coming out amongst us today, isn't it? And last night, I bought purple hair color. So who knows how it'll work, but I'm going to do it before we get together in Tahoe. A gal at the retreat, hers was really pretty, and I said, what? And she told me the name, so I bought it. We'll see what happens. It was fun to be with you guys. It was fun to meet you, Tia and Jace. I hope that you come back. We are here every single day. Same time, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Pennsylvania time. And Amy has a purple something. Is it going like this? Purple? I think. All new emojis here on this new platform, huh? Well, it's good to be with you guys because I was gone for a while. I was just doing my mandalas in nature versus checking in with you all since I didn't have service. Oh, that's Amy's excited emoji for purple hair. I know. All right. Big hugs and kisses. Love to you all. I'll see you in the ethers tomorrow. Bye-bye.